Hi there, wildlife watchers! Welcome to Daisy's Animal Facts. I'm Daisy, and today we're traveling to the amazing eucalyptus forests of Australia to meet one of the world's most beloved and sleepy animals, the incredible koala. Grab your binoculars and your sense of adventure, because we're climbing high into the treetops to discover a world of fluffy ears, lazy afternoons, and eucalyptus leaf munching. Koalas are marsupials, which means they're pouched mammals like kangaroos, wombats, and opossums. But here's a fun fact that might surprise you. Koalas aren't actually bears at all. Even though people sometimes call them koala bears, they're not related to bears one tiny bit. The confusion started when European settlers first saw these fluffy, teddy bear-looking creatures and thought they looked like small bears. Koalas have thick, woolly fur that's usually gray with white patches on their chest and inner ears. They have large, round black noses, small eyes, and those famous fluffy ears that make them look like living teddy bears. Their bodies are perfectly designed for life in the trees, with strong arms and legs, sharp claws for gripping branches, and a compact body that helps them balance on even the thinnest eucalyptus branches. But what makes koalas really special is that they're one of the few animals on Earth that can survive by eating something that would make most other animals very sick: eucalyptus leaves. These leaves are toxic to almost every other mammal. But koalas have evolved amazing adaptations that let them munch on these poisonous leaves all day long. The scientific name for koalas is Phascolarctos cinereus, which means ash-colored pouched bear. Even scientists got confused about the bear thing when they first named them. Koalas belong to a family of marsupials called Phascolarctidae, and they're the only living member of this family. That makes them pretty special and unique in the animal kingdom. Koalas live exclusively in Australia, and you won't find them anywhere else in the wild. They inhabit the eastern and southeastern coasts of Australia, from Queensland in the north all the way down to Victoria in the south, with some populations in South Australia too. These amazing marsupials live in eucalyptus forests and woodlands, spending almost their entire lives high up in the tree canopy. Different koala populations prefer different types of eucalyptus trees. There are over 600 species of eucalyptus trees in Australia. But koalas are very picky eaters and will only munch on about 30 of these species. Northern koalas, found in Queensland and northern New South Wales, tend to be smaller and have shorter, lighter fur because it's warmer up there. Southern koalas, found in Victoria and South Australia, are larger and have longer, thicker fur to keep them warm in the cooler southern climate. Some southern koalas can weigh twice as much as their northern cousins. Koalas are incredibly tied to their home ranges. Each koala has a territory that might include anywhere from a few trees to several acres of forest, depending on how good the eucalyptus trees are in that area. They know every single tree in their territory and have favorite spots for sleeping, eating, and just hanging out. Unfortunately, koala habitat has been shrinking for many years due to land clearing, urban development, and bushfires. This has made life much harder for wild koalas, and it's one of the biggest challenges facing these amazing animals today. Here's where koalas get really fascinating. They survive almost entirely on eucalyptus leaves, which are basically poisonous to every other mammal. Eucalyptus leaves contain toxic compounds that would make most animals very sick, but koalas have developed incredible adaptations to handle this challenging diet. First, koalas have an extremely long digestive system. Their intestines can be up to 6 feet long, which is incredibly long for an animal that only weighs 10 to 30 pounds. This gives the leaves plenty of time to be broken down and detoxified as they pass through the koala's body. The real magic happens in the koala's cecum, a special part of their intestine that's packed with millions of helpful bacteria. These bacteria work like tiny factories, breaking down the tough eucalyptus leaves and neutralizing the toxic compounds. Baby koalas actually get these essential bacteria from their mothers by eating a special soft poop called pap. It sounds gross, but it's absolutely necessary for baby koalas to be able to digest eucalyptus leaves. Koalas are incredibly picky about which eucalyptus leaves they eat. They'll spend time carefully sniffing each leaf before deciding whether to eat it or not. They can detect which leaves have the right balance of nutrients and the lowest levels of toxins. A koala might reject 99 out of 100 leaves before finding one that meets their high standards. Different koala populations have adapted to eat different types of eucalyptus trees. Queensland koalas prefer different species than Victorian koalas, and if you moved a koala to a new area with unfamiliar eucalyptus species, it might not be able to survive because it doesn't know which leaves are safe to eat. Eucalyptus leaves are also very low in protein and nutrients, which is another reason why koalas sleep so much. They need to conserve energy because their food doesn't give them very much fuel to work with. It's like trying to run a car on watered-down gasoline. Koalas are famous for being sleepyheads, and there's a very good reason for all that snoozing. They sleep between 18 to 22 hours every single day, making them one of the sleepiest animals in the world. Only the sloth sleeps more. This incredible amount of sleep is directly related to their eucalyptus leaf diet. Digesting these toxic, low-nutrition leaves take an enormous amount of energy, so koalas have evolved to conserve energy by sleeping most of the day away. Their metabolism is incredibly slow, about half as fast as most other mammals their size. When koalas do wake up, they're usually either eating, moving to a new tree, or occasionally socializing with other koalas. Their active periods are usually during the cooler parts of the day, like early morning or evening, when it takes less energy to move around. Koalas sleep in the forks of eucalyptus trees, wedging themselves securely between branches so they won't fall even when they're sound asleep. They have special thick pads on their bottoms that make sitting on branches comfortable for hours at a time. Their strong grip means they can sleep sitting up without any problem. Different koalas have different sleeping preferences. Some like to sleep curled up in tight balls, while others prefer to stretch out along a branch. During hot weather, they'll often hang their arms and legs down to catch any cool breezes, and during cold weather, they'll curl up into tight, fluffy balls to stay warm. Baby koalas sleep even more than adults, sometimes up to 22 hours a day. This extra sleep helps them grow and develop while their digestive systems are still learning to handle eucalyptus leaves. Koala family life is quite different from many other animals. Adult koalas are mostly solitary, meaning they prefer to live alone rather than in groups. However, they do have complex social relationships and communicate with each other in fascinating ways. Male koalas make loud bellowing calls that can be heard over half a mile away. These calls sound like a cross between a snore and a burp, and they serve several purposes: to attract females during mating season, to warn other males to stay away from their territory, and to let other koalas know where they are in the forest. Female koalas give birth to one tiny baby at a time, and here's where things get really amazing. When a koala baby is born, it's only about the size of a lima bean and weighs less than a gram. The baby is born blind, hairless, and barely developed. But it has strong enough arms to crawl from the birth canal into its mother's pouch. Once inside the pouch, the baby koala, called a joey, attaches to one of its mother's nipples and stays there for about 6 to 7 months. During this time, the joey grows from a tiny pink blob into a miniature koala with fur, open eyes, and the ability to peek out of the pouch. When the joey is big enough, it starts leaving the pouch for short periods to explore the world. But it doesn't go far. The joey will ride on its mother's back, holding on tight as she moves through the trees. This piggyback phase can last for several more months. The mother koala teaches her Joey everything it needs to know: which eucalyptus leaves are safe to eat, how to climb effectively, where the best sleeping spots are, and how to avoid danger. This learning period is crucial because koalas need to know their local environment extremely well to survive. Young koalas stay with their mothers for about a year before becoming independent. Once they leave, they need to find their own territory, which can be challenging since all the best spots might already be taken by other koalas. Koalas might look sleepy and slow, but they have some amazing abilities that help them thrive in their treetop world. Their climbing skills are absolutely incredible. Koalas have strong, muscular arms and legs, plus sharp, curved claws that work like natural climbing hooks. They can climb straight up smooth tree trunks and move through the forest canopy with surprising grace and speed when they need to. Each koala paw is specially designed for gripping. Their front paws have 2 thumbs and 3 fingers, giving them an incredibly strong grip on branches. Their back paws have 1 thumb and 4 toes, with a special grooming claw that they use too. Scratch behind their ears and clean their fur. Koalas have an amazing sense of smell that helps them identify the best eucalyptus leaves. Their large black nose isn't just for show. It contains millions of scent receptors that can detect the subtle chemical differences between different eucalyptus leaves. They can smell whether a leaf is young or old, healthy or diseased, and whether it has the right balance of nutrients and toxins. Their hearing is also excellent, which helps them detect danger like approaching dingoes or dogs and communicate with other koalas across the forest. Those big fluffy ears aren't just cute, they're highly sensitive sound collectors. Koalas are surprisingly good swimmers, though they rarely need this skill. If they ever fall into water or need to cross a stream, they can paddle quite effectively with their strong arms. They also have excellent balance and spatial awareness. A koala can sleep on a thin branch 100 feet above the ground without any fear of falling. Their inner ear is specially adapted to help them maintain their balance even when they're fast asleep. Koalas might seem quiet and sleepy, but they actually have a complex communication system that includes sounds, scents, and body language. The most famous koala sound is the male's bellowing call. These deep, resonant calls can carry for over half a mile through the forest and serve multiple purposes. During breeding season, males use these calls to attract females and announce their availability. They also use them to establish territory and warn other males to stay away. Female koalas make softer clicking and squeaking sounds, especially when communicating with their joeys. Mother koalas have special soft calls that help their babies find them if they get separated while moving through the trees. Koalas also communicate through scent marking. They have scent glands on their chests that produce a strong-smelling substance. Male koalas rub their chests against tree trunks to mark their territory and let other koalas know who lives in that area. Each koala's scent is unique, like a smelly signature. Body language is important too. When koalas feel threatened, they might make themselves look bigger by standing up tall and spreading their arms. If they're really scared or angry, they might make hissing or snarling sounds and show their teeth. Koalas also use gentle touching to communicate. Mothers and joeys often nuzzle each other, and koalas that know each other might briefly touch noses when they meet. Life in the wild isn't always easy for koalas, and they face several natural challenges that they've adapted to over millions of years. One of the biggest challenges is finding enough good eucalyptus leaves. Not all eucalyptus trees are created equal, and koalas need to find trees with leaves that have the right balance of nutrients and toxins. During drought years, when eucalyptus leaves become even more toxic and less nutritious, koalas can struggle to find enough suitable food. Predators are another challenge, especially for young koalas. Dingoes, large pythons, and powerful owls can all pose threats to koalas. Adult koalas are relatively safe high in the trees, but when they come down to move between trees or find water, they become vulnerable. Koalas have adapted to these predator threats by being most active during dawn and dusk when many predators are less active. They also move between trees as quickly as possible and choose routes that keep them as high above the ground as they can manage. Weather extremes can also be challenging. During heat waves, koalas need to find ways to cool down, which they do by panting, finding shady spots, and sometimes even hugging tree trunks. The inner wood of eucalyptus trees stays cooler than the air temperature. During cold snaps, their thick fur helps insulate them, and they can curl up into tight balls to conserve body heat. Bushfires are a natural part of the Australian landscape, and koalas have some adaptations for dealing with them. Their thick fur provides some protection from heat and sparks, and they can sometimes survive fires by climbing to the top of trees where there's less smoke and heat. Unfortunately, modern koalas face many challenges that their ancestors never had to deal with. Habitat destruction is the biggest threat, as forests are cleared for agriculture, housing developments, and roads. Climate change is also affecting koalas in several ways. Rising temperatures make it harder for koalas to stay cool, and changing rainfall patterns affect the quality of eucalyptus leaves. Some eucalyptus trees are producing leaves with higher toxin levels as they stress from drought, making them unsuitable for koalas to eat. Domestic dogs pose a serious threat to koalas in areas where urban development meets koala habitat. Cars are also dangerous for koalas who need to cross roads to move between patches of forest. Disease is another challenge. Koalas can suffer from chlamydia, a bacterial infection that can cause blindness, infertility, and other serious health problems. Researchers are working on vaccines and treatments to help wild koala populations stay healthy. Despite these challenges, there are many people working hard to protect koalas and their habitat. Wildlife hospitals treat injured and sick koalas. Conservation groups work to protect and restore eucalyptus forests, and researchers study koala behavior and biology to better understand how to help them. Many amazing people and organizations are working hard to protect koalas and ensure they have a future in the wild. Wildlife carers rescue and rehabilitate injured koalas, often caring for orphaned joeys until they're old enough to be released back into the wild. These dedicated volunteers bottle feed baby koalas, provide medical care, and gradually teach hand-raised joeys how to live like wild koalas. Scientists and researchers study koala behavior, genetics, and ecology to understand what koalas need to survive and thrive. They track koala populations, study their movements through GPS collars, and work to identify the most important habitat areas that need protection. Conservation organizations work to protect koala habitat by establishing national parks and wildlife corridors that connect fragmented forests. They also work with landowners to create koala-friendly practices on private property. Some groups are even working on innovative solutions like koala overpasses, special bridges that go over roads so koalas can safely travel between forests without risking being hit by cars. There are lots of ways young people can help protect koalas and their habitat. Learn about koalas and share what you know with friends and family. Support organizations that work to protect koala habitat. Choose sustainable products that don't contribute to deforestation. Be a responsible pet owner and keep dogs and cats contained so they don't harm wildlife. Every action, no matter how small, can make a difference for koalas and other wildlife. The future of koalas depends largely on how well we can protect their habitat and address the challenges they face. In the modern world, while koala populations have declined significantly over the past century, there's still hope for these amazing marsupials. Conservation efforts are making a difference. New national parks and protected areas are being established, Wildlife corridors are being created to connect fragmented habitats, and researchers are developing new ways to help koala populations recover. Education and awareness are also crucial. The more people know about koalas and the challenges they face, the more likely they are to support conservation efforts and make choices that help protect koala habitat. Wow! From their specialized eucalyptus diet and incredible sleeping abilities to their amazing climbing skills and unique family life. Koalas are truly some of the most fascinating and specialized animals on our planet. These remarkable marsupials show us how animals can adapt to incredibly challenging diets and environments. And they remind us of the incredible diversity of life that exists in Australia's unique ecosystems. Thanks for joining me on this amazing journey to the eucalyptus forests of Australia, wildlife watchers. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and join me, Daisy, for the next incredible adventure on Daisy's Animal Facts. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning. And remember that every animal has an amazing story to tell and an important role to play in our natural world.